had any street sense knowledge about yourself, you knew that company was gonna come crashing down, feds first.
People let the fame go to their heads and the egos took over, and the next thing you know, it wasn't nowhere to go but down.
Coming up, will the founder of one of rap music's most successful record labels be doing time for a probation violation?
Last year, he pled no contest to 2 counts of assault stemming from a 1992 attack on 2 aspiring rappers in a Hollywood recording studio. This is a man who has 8 different convictions.
And Your Honor, I ask you, how many bites at the probation apple does this defendant get?
I think it is very clear that Mr. Knight delivers a kick with his right foot.
That man made a choice to ignore his conscience. And it's only him that can reconcile that and can change it. We can't. We can just move on, give our contribution to the music industry, and hope that nothing like this ever happens again.
He was an active participant in this assault, and I do find a violation of probation. I also keep in mind, I think the way he left the scene evidenced a consciousness of guilt. I think he had been involved in an assault, and the way he left the scene causes me to believe that he knew exactly what it was he was doing, what he had been involved in. Your prior record indicates one of violence. You are a danger to the community. Your prior performance on probation was not satisfactory. You committed other crimes while you were on probation. You're not a suitable candidate for probation, in other words, and so therefore probation is denied.
I don't think anybody here has any question that if we were dealing with somebody other than Mr. Knight, what we saw on that videotape, first of all, would not be sufficient to constitute a probation violation, and secondly, and most importantly, even if somebody thought it was, it's certainly not the kind of violation or the kind of activity that warrants a 9-year sentence.
How can Suge be in jail? How can one of the most powerful people in the record business, not black people, one of the most powerful people in the record business, be in jail for something as silly as stopping a fight or even kicking somebody?
In my opinion, this is a miscarriage of justice.
You got this lawyer, this attorney, this guy who is pretty brilliant. So you know that this isn't a regular attorney. He's got some pull somewhere because he's got somebody from the DA's office involved in this thing. And you're saying to yourself, if all these people are involved, all these powerful people, what kind of situation did he set Suge up in? I mean, Dave Kenner was a big man in our business on all levels. And you have to ask yourself, did the money get to him? Did the power get to him? You got to ask yourself, is Suge thinking about this? Is he sitting in jail saying, is this guy really on my side?
Suge Knight was and is death row. And for me, without Suge Knight, there is no death row.
If Suge has grasped all that has happened to him, I think he could come out and again start up Death Row Records and start a record company that would be more viable than ever.
They will be legends no matter what happens, but if they continue to go on, no telling what kind of influence they may have had on the inner city youth in America. When you have guys that have the ears of not only black America, but white America also, you can call some shots. Anybody can sell 4 million records, 5 million records. Anybody can sell out concerts around the world. Whatever they put their name and faces on will sell. Whatever they endorse will be backed up 100%.
The Death Row Records story told the tale of 3 major record labels, almost brought one of them down, rattled another to its core, and set the framework for a whole new way of doing business in the music business. This was a story that wasn't just about a bunch of guys from Compton. It was a story that affected the whole music business and ultimately the business world.
It's about empowerment. It's about greed. It's about ego. It's about sex. It's about violence. It's about fame. It's about failure. I mean, you don't get any more American than that.
The legacy that Death Row Records has left is both positive and negative. I think the positive legacy is that if you have talent and if you're prepared to work, you can create a business and it can be successful. People always say, you remember how Suge started this company from nothing? We can do that. We're gonna hear this music forever. It's gonna forever mark an era in American culture and American history.
Now the sad part about this whole thing is that Jimmy Iovine and Ted Fields sold Interscope for $400 million. I still have the article in the Wall Street Journal. It says, Warner's ups its stake in rap music. So what they were buying was Death Row. They paid $400 million for it. So Jimmy Iovine and Ted Field got $400 million. Tupac's dead and Suge's in jail.
Who's in jail? Mike Harris, Suge Knight. And where's the money? Who controls the money? What happens to the power that all these black folks control?
Death Row is the named party in scores of lawsuits over its financial management and mismanagement. With the federal investigation, they're looking into Suge's dealings in Las Vegas. They're looking into his dealings with Michael Harris.
At no point in time was my money considered illegal. There was no evidence to prove that I ever participated in money laundering.
Michael has an attempted murder charge over his head and a drug case over his head. If the government offered Michael an opportunity to get out of jail to testify against David Kenner or Suge Knight or Andre Young or someone else, there's a good chance that Michael could take it.
I don't work for the government. I only work for myself and my family and my friends. I would stay in prison before I would live as a rat in society.
Suge, I would imagine, in the minds of white corporate America record business, had to be stopped. He had to be stopped.
When we start taking the money that we make in the streets, however we do, if it's hustling bottles, selling bottle tops, selling a bag of weed on the corner, however we do it, when we do it and we start realizing, you know what, let me find something legal to do, that's when it becomes a problem. They don't want us legal. They rather because they feel like if you selling dope, you ain't gonna never really get rich unless you the man sitting next to the goddamn man. It'll be hard to dig up and find who started what with what kind of legal money, but they wouldn't want to do that. If they were to take Death Row right now for Suge Knight, what about Atlantic Group? What about Interscope Records? They made more money than Death Row did off of Death Row. If Death Row was founded by drug money and Death Row made money and Interscope made money, Atlantic Group made money, you take everybody record company. You don't take just the black man's.